air at Mary's Harbor. This signal that it looked like a signal. We saw it on the last live stream that we had done on the FAA right here. This is in Canada. And it was this signal that it didn't make sense because it was showing up at night. And I thought, what is that signal? Wow, I got a lot of reflection on that. I can't show that over there. But this signal now, I've come back over here and I wanted to look at it on the FAA. This is what the area looks like. Hey, Applebrooks, honey. This is what it looks like in the daytime. You can see it's lots of hills and stuff, just like this. And over here in the corner, I can't see what that is. It just looks like it's a hill, is all it looks like. But there is a signal that looks like it's emanating from that hill, and it's black. This is some kind of a compound. And if we come over here, let's get the timestamp on this. It's the 5th of January at 5:30. You cannot see the signal right now, but what's really strange is it shows up. I did notice that this line right here in the sky, I don't know what that line is, like right here. Let's see if it's over here on this side. It's barely over here in the corner on this side, but this line, whatever it is, it's not coming from the hill. Let's watch it. It moves, but then I think I see that thing coming in right here. Something from a ground-based system, it disappears, and it's like, what, 6 o'clock? Then it shows up. It shows up, and I'm not sure what this thing is because it looks like it's coming down here on this aerial. It looks like it's a spiral is what it looks like. A spiral-like thing coming from the ground. Let's look over here in this area. There's nothing, oops, there's nothing over there in that area that would cause a spiral to come up here like it does. Let me get over here. Let me turn that off right there. I want to get both of them on there. See it right here? First, it's up in the air like that, and it is. And as it goes down, it looks like it probably goes back there, disappears. It gets dark, then it gets light, then it comes and it swings around. I'm not sure what it is, and I wanted to be able to catch this. I'm going to have to look at it in the daytime because it looks like something that is spiraling because it's smaller at this end and it's going all the way up there. But what is it going to? Hello. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's going to. The camera has to be up here somewhere. And see, look at what it did. It moves. It moves. Why is it moving? It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what it is. It's very strange. It would have to be coming across a long distance to come across this area from a wee little house, from over here to come across the ground and go up in the air like it is. It's coming across a very long distance. I'm looking at the FAA weather cam on Mary's Harbor. Now, this is where Mary's Harbor is located. If it's a light, I wouldn't expect the light to be a dark light from like a spotlight. Would you expect it to be a dark light from like a beacon or something? If this is an airport right there, I've just never seen a dark light, a radar. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. And I wish this thing had a filter on it. They took the filters away from this. Used to have one and now they don't have ones. Because if I want to do a retouch, I can't. Which kind of is upsetting. Let me do this. See, just watch it. There's nothing down there. Nothing. And if it's a radar, what kind of signal is it sending? You see it? Like it curves down and it goes up. It's skinnier right there in that one spot, and then it gets bigger. I wish I would have thought of coming up here. Tomorrow I'll catch it. I'll see what happens tomorrow when it's like in the daytime. I only got a little bit of it at night. See, it's moved again. It's really dark. I wonder, I'm going to see if I can brighten up my screen all the way to see if I can see it in the dark. It's really bright. I doubt if I can. I don't know if I can see it in the dark. I'm not going to be able to see it in the dark. It's only in the light. Only in the light. It comes and it goes. It's the only one I've seen do this. You remember where you seen a black trail like that? La Palma? Is that where it was at, Al, honey? Because I was getting ready to ask you, what do you think? Did you see it before? And then it's not fully black. And it looks like, well, it would look like it would curve like that and then go up. It's really strange. Let me see this. How can we look this up? I wonder if St. Anthony has something like that, but I don't think they do. Okay, this is the same area where we saw the lights that were really strange. You keep missing the live, God's girl. Yeah. Well, sometimes that happens. It does. It happens at times. I'm going to see this one. One of these cameras also looks strange. Now we can see that this has like radio. This has all this stuff in here with gates. We're on the FAA. Okay, that looks like snowdrops. But that looks strange. Why these look the way that they look. I wonder why that one stays there. Okay, that one's not available. Let me go to another camera. Because this was a really rather odd looking FAA camera to check the weather. Of course, these are like raindrops keep falling on my head. That doesn't mean my eyes will still be closing. Hey, is that my baby? Rosie, honey, where's your chair, honey? There's your chair right here, honey. Look, right here. No, I think she wants her chair in a different place. Hold on, let me fix her chair. Rosie, honey, want me? Well, I could fix it for you, Rosie. You want to sit right there, honey? You can do it. You can sit right there. Go on, you can do it. Go on, do you want to? Rosie, honey, you want to sit right there? You can. Go on, you can sit there. Or do you want your chair? No, she don't like her chair right there. She wants her chair over here. Let me help you, Rosie. I can help you, Rosie. You're a baby. We'll stick your chair right here where you always were. Right there, honey. That's what you're used to. Now you can do it. You can be a baby. Okay? You can be a little baby. You can do it. She can be a baby, you all. Rosie, honey, that's where you sit. Go on, honey. Don't you be doing it. Yeah, this is the FAA. And this had some rather strange things on it. Like that signal going straight up. She's got to check out her chair. See, now it's going straight up. Rosie, honey, don't be jumping around over there. And then it comes this way. Hello. Okay, we looked at that enough. I know it's not icicles coming from there. Rosie, want me to help you? Let Rosie. Here, Rosie, let me help you. Come on, go on. She don't know what she's doing, you all. Rosie, don't be eating a bug on the floor. She wants to eat a bug on the floor. Oh, this is probably a stink bug. I'm not going to watch her. Okay, this one right here. Let's see if we can get another one over here on the FAA. This may not have done something. We do get on different subject matters, and sometimes I jump. And it can happen in one live stream. I don't know which Rosie's doing. I want to see if this St. Anthony has one of those things on it. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Hey, come here, Rosie. Come here. Can you do it, Rosie? She did it all right. She pushed herself to the other side with her legs, you all. She just wanted to say hi. I want to look at this one right here. St. Anthony's. We saw St. Mary's. St. Mary's. Is that the door that the Pope opened today? You think their orbs are angels? I don't know what they are on here. One time on the Canada live webcam, we found a portal opened. It was a rather strange portal. And there was some kind of a battle. There was something coming through it. It was a doorway. Okay, St. Anthony's doesn't have anything going on. It's kind of boring over here. It's that other one. There was one other one I wanted to show, and I took a screenshot of it. It was, I took it tonight. So let me bring it down. All right. Hold on. It's hard to navigate with just one hand. We'll get it. It was this one right here. Burns Lake. Let me type in Burns Lake. This is the frequency that's in the air at Burns Lake. I'm going to type it in so you all can see what it looks like. It looks like they are really priming that area for some reason. Oh, I wish I could do that. Burns Lake. Okay, I'm going to get it. We're going to look at it. It's right here. It's right here in the look like in the trees and mountains and something, but there obviously is an airport there. Let me get to this area right here. I want you to look at this. This is Burns Lake, and look at it. Here's how it looks on a clear day. Let's look. I want you to look at it. This is the clear day visual right here on Burns Lake in Canada. And look at this right here. Watch how much the frequency changes, and it's at 540. Look at that. They're doing something in the air. It's all scrambled. I've not seen something like this so much before. Do you know if there's like that looks like a net. Look, it's all connected. It's literally going this way, and this way, and that way. It's got 1, 2, 3, like 4 different frequencies going there. I would expect it wouldn't have this many, but it does. It is that is like wild. I can't even make this out. Do you think, now let me ask this. Do you think in this area that this is some type of a communication that is coming from space? Some kind of signal, and they got to decipher at it? Look at the signal. Look at all this stuff right here. Could it be from space? Yeah. Let me look at this. It's obviously in the air because being picked up. Where is my? I gotta find my cursor. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like rope. A lot of rope. I wouldn't say that this is dust. Is that what you're saying it is dust? I would say this is some kind of frequency that is literally being, it's obviously we're seeing it in that area. Oh, I'm hearing the hail on the roof. Wow. The patterns are so different. They're so different. I wonder what's happening in this area. If it's a high UFO, if it's like a paranormal area where there's a lot of paranormal activity. I don't think I'd want to be in that area. What is over here? There is a propane tank or natural gas tank. That's all it is. I want to make sure when I get back to the front of that, I want to see it. Wow, look at that. That's the sun. This is not just coming from the sun. This is in the air. I haven't even gotten back to the beginning of it. Okay, now this is the very beginning. Let's look up Burns Lake. What's in Burns Lake? Because I'd like to see what's in Burns Lake. Yeah, it's stretch. I need to stretch you all. Burns Lake, Canada. Burns Lake, Canada. That's where it's at. Oh. Oh. Oh, it looks like Northern Lights. This must be a UFO prone area. The magnetic field must be very weak there. It could be Applebrooks, honey. You got it, and Al, honey. Where's that rubber, you all? Let's look at this. I'm going to type in paranormal activity. Paranormal. Let me just do this. I bet there's some kind of a paranormal activity there. I'm going to look. I am going to look. All right, we got it. There's a haunted building there. It's got a lot of energy. There's tons of energy. The haunted building. I come from a strange land called Brazil in South America. Well, no. See, we're talking about Burns Lake District News. You better be talking about Burns Lake. Please don't ask me how a Brazilian guy ends up in Burns Lake, British Columbia. Okay, we're going to hear what he had. Oh, okay. His journey, because we got a lot of paranormal activity there, a lot of frequency changes. This is all over the place. This is one camera. You can see that this frequency is all over the place. It is wild. It's a scattered frequency. I want to hear this guy from Brazil talk about this. I want to hear what he said. It does feel like it's like a haunted. Asked me how I chose to end up here. I did not come to Burns Lake straight from Brazil. But my journey, this guy's, here's what he had to say. My journey to Canada started a couple years back, far away on the East Coast, in a magical place called Newfoundland. I slowly made my way west, making stops in Toronto and Saskatchewan. My dream to become a journalist has guided me to some peculiar places in the country. All right, so we're going to see it. I'm going to see what he said. He better talk about this. Oh, my nose. Wait, I want to see where he's talking about Burns Lake. Then I don't even see it on there. No, he's talking about some kind of village. No, I went the paranormal stuff because I know it's bound to be on here. It's bound to have. Is this British Columbia Road one of Canada's most haunted? Are you in Canada? And okay, that's why there's so many atmospheric rivers, Joanne. What is the eeriest and scariest place? There's ghost towns in British Columbia. Look. Oh, I just wanted everyone to be aware and exercise caution. A couple weeks back, our group encountered some strong ghost activity that left us shook to the core in Burns Lake camping. Okay, you all, we got to read that. We have got to read that. Wow. We even debated this person. They're trying to put together a picture. I hope they're not just playing around with it right here. We even debated making a break for it back to the trail and head after a relentless couple hours of ghost shenanigans, but it was too dark. We just thought we'd bring everyone's attention to avoid a frightful night. I don't know if they're joking. I think they're joking. They wouldn't be joking unless it's really happening. Where's this Falcon Lake? Is Falcon Lake? Okay, we got a lot of UFO activity. Stefan Mikolak was treated at a hospital for burns on his chest and stomach. Wow, sores of a grid-like pattern. Hey. Oh no. It does kind of look at this grid-like pattern. He's probably in these areas and these frequencies just burnt him to the core. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's Canada's best UFO documented case. Did we hear about this the other day? The famous Manitoba UFO case. There's his chest. Ah. Stefan Michalak was treated for hospital burns to his chest and his stomach and later turned into raised sores. He still can vividly remember when his dad came home sick and injured after something happened at Falcon Lake Woods in Manitoba in 1967. It was something that put his family's life in an upheaval and remains one of the world's best known UFO encounters. I recall seeing him in the bed. He didn't look good at all. He looked pale, haggard, said Michalak. He was 9 years old at the time and was allowed to see his dad for a couple of minutes on the day after what would soon be known as the Falcon Lake incident. When I walked into the bedroom, there was a huge stink in the room, like a real horrible aroma of sulfur and burnt motor. It was all around and it was coming out of his pores. It was bad, said Michalak. He co-authored a book called, look at this, a book when it said, When They Appeared with Winnipeg UFO researcher Chris Ruthowski. This is what it looked like. Oh, look, it's got windows and stuff. Solar like heated something, steel. The book would be launched. I was very afraid. My dad had been injured and I didn't know anything about it. Within a couple days, not only did he know more, so did the public. The story about his dad being burned by a UFO ran in the Winnipeg Tribune newspaper. That's when everything pretty much hit the fan. You all, did you hear about that? You saw one like that? Seasons? The Encounter? Stefan Michalak, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, was an industrial mechanic by trade and an amateur geologist who liked to venture into the wilderness around Falcon Lake to prospect for quartz and silver. He had staked some claim the years prior and set out on a May-long weekend, 1967, to explore. On May the 20th of 1967, Stefan was near a vein of quartz along the Precambrian Shield in the area where the 51-year-old was startled by a gaggle of nearby geese that erupted in a clattering of honks. Look at this. Is where the dots were on his chest. This is his shirt. It looked like he had a tank top on, and they literally burnt his chest. Oh, wow. Let's look at this. It was two cigar-shaped objects with a reddish glow hovering about 45 meters away. One descended to Stefan's account, landing on a flat section of the rock and taking on a more of a disc shape. The other remained in the air and flew for a few minutes, and then it flew off. Believing it has to be a U.S. secret military experimental craft, Stefan sat back and stretched it out over the next half hour. He sketched it. Then he decided to approach, later recalling the warm air and smell of sulfur as he got closer, as well as a whirling sound of motors and a hissing of air. You remember how they say, if you smell sulfur or like rotten eggs in the air, it's going to be like an earthquake? What if they're just saying that and it really does mean there's like UFOs in the air and you may not be able to see them, but their smell, the sulfuric smell, is the telltale sign instead of an earthquake? What if they come out of the volcanoes? What if they come out of the ground? And they have their places where they come out of the ground that nobody knows about. Near the water in the valley, a piece of radioactive metal that was retrieved from the crash site, it found cracks in the Precambrian rock. That can't be the metal. I don't know what that is. Um, he saw beams of, here it is. He claims he went closer and noted the smooth metal of the ship with no seams. He then looked into the bright doorway, pulling on the welding goggles he used to protect his eyes while chipping at rocks during prospecting. Inside, Stefan said he saw light beams and panels of various colored flashing lights, but could not see anyone or any living thing. And when he stepped away, 3 panels slid across the door, opening and sealed it. He reached to touch the craft when he said, which he said melted the fingertips of the glove he was wearing. The craft then began to turn counterclockwise, and Stefan said he noticed a panel that contained a grid of holes. Shortly afterward, he was struck in the chest by a blast of air or gas that pushed him backwards and set his shirt and cap ablaze. He ripped the burning garments as the craft lifted off and flew away. Disoriented and nauseous, Stefan stumbled through the forest and vomited. He eventually made his way back to his motel room in Falcon Lake and then caught a bus back to Winnipeg. He was treated at a hospital for burns of his chest and stomach that later turned into raised sores on a grid-like pattern. For weeks afterward, he suffered from diarrhea, headache, and blackouts and weight loss. It just flipped over our lives. Flipped over their lives. Look at that. In Poland, he moved his family, before Stefan moved his family to Canada, he was a military policeman. Remember that? They said that he was never seen in a hospital. We did a video on that. So we are looking at the FAA weather cam, and this is, that's me. This is their camera. There is some kind of frequency in the air. It literally does. It's, the patterns are, they're out of this world. This can't be a normal microwave thing. It's too scrambled, way too scrambled. The craft was hot, being heated by the crossing into the shield around the planet. Hot when you cross the barrier from space. Well, this right here. Ah. What is it known for? Mountain bike trails. Of course, they wouldn't tell you. There's no way they're going to tell you that there are UFOs around that area and they don't want you to know about it. That's up on my face like that. You had solar flares hitting. We have it hitting a lot. Well, it's going to affect people's behavior. It's electric. It is. You may feel drained of your energy too. You may have feelings of despair and hopelessness and fear and all kinds of emotions. It may be scrambling your emotions. It probably would make you unbalanced. I'm getting a hot flash. Hold on. It's making me having a hot flash. Often I got my little baby Rosie on the other side, just resting by the window. She's a little babe. Get off of me. Yeah. What happened in Canada? Well, there's frequencies here. This is Burns Lake. Well, that's kind of where the place, wherever Manitoba is. This FAA, look at this weather. Look at this. This is in the air, and it's not coming from the sun because you can see it's coming from the sun. That's the sun. But these right here, they're all in the whole entire area. It's time to get it. Burns Lake, British Columbia, Canada. That's what it is? Burns Lake, British Columbia, Canada. Let me look. I'm going to look over here and see these other. Okay, let me look at it. I think I did, and they didn't have anything like that going on. They're just kind of, They just kind of have their cameras all messed up. There's no frequency that can be seen in them, but that Burns Lake has a lot of frequency. And that's right here, Mackenzie. Oh, no, there's another one. What is this, you all? This is the Mackenzie. Okay, there's frequency in here too. I'm not sure what this is if you're just tuning in. This looks like a snow or something, piece of fog smudge on the glass. Is looking for some frequency, and it's not on this particular camera. Let's check out this other camera. Now this is all, they got it all white out in the sky. Isn't it interesting how you can have cameras that have north, south, east, and west, and they're picking up like different frequencies? Why wouldn't you have a frequency near certain cameras like this one right here? It's got it here. Look at that, Mackenzie. That one is wild too. This is, I can't tell if this is the, oh, this is the south-facing camera. This is in the south. Okay, that's good. South-facing camera of Mackenzie in Canada. It's got a lot of frequency too. But it's nothing like the Burns Lake. This one looks organized. It's not wiggly or anything, but it's really wild. Wow. I would not even want to feel that energy that's over there. Let me look at that. It kind of reminds me of like some kind of signal, the thumbnail of this video with a signal. Where's it at? It looked like that as a signal coming from the ground. What if it's, I don't know, there could be some kind, I don't know what's on the ground. I don't. Let me get this. I'm trying to see some more of these. Mackenzie. That's Mackenzie. Is there paranormal activity in Mackenzie? Mackenzie, Canada. I'm going to write it in there and do it. Mackenzie. Okay, Mackenzie. Why do they say this? Mackenzie House. Could this be Toronto's most haunted house? Is there a lot of UFO sightings in Canada, in this part of Canada? UFO? Okay, let's look at this. The Mackenzie Art Gallery in Canada has an exhibition on space fiction and archives. One of the projects featured in the exhibition was the construction of the world's first UFO landing pad in St. Paul, Alberta. Paul Hellyer, the creator of the landing pad, claimed to have seen a UFO and that extraterrestrials have been visiting Earth for years. He also claimed the governments of Canada and the United States were aware of this and were keeping it secret. Here is some other information about the UFOs in Canada. In 1967, Stefan Mekalak claimed to have seen 2 glowing objects descended from the sky. You remember seeing the glowing objects? They're calling the drones. The Canadian government in June of 2022, officials agreed to share information about UFOs with their American counterparts. The Canadian files include information from a variety of witnesses, including at least 24 military personnel. Who was that Canadian? 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 Who was that that Canadian person in government, it was a guy who spoke about the UFOs that were there and all over Canada. And do you believe that Justin Trudeau, or do you think that Justin Trudeau, he don't want the information getting out about the UFOs over there? Because if that information gets out and they find out and it spreads that there is a higher power other than Trudeau, that's the end of Trudeau. Trudeau or whoever he is, love you too. Yeah. And why would they do a UFO landing pad? And I wonder if it's really a actual UFO. He's terrible. And Pierre and Jagmeet, well, maybe they're going to be gone. They're going to go bye-bye. Um, Brucey's all is from Montreal. He's gone now. Is he the one that he's no longer with us? Yeah. Is he the one that's no longer with us? Is Brucey's all? They'll try to take you out. They will. No, it's like this. They look, that's getting code. 5/26 of 24, Montreal, Quebec, Canada users shared a clip showing an orb UFO slowly moving across the night sky. Oh, is it Bob Lazar? Yeah. You think it's a pier? Are you talking about that, Joandra? You talking about that image that is right here? You think it's a pier? This image, like right here on the FAA? If it's a pier, then why does it move across the sky if it's a pier? Because there's no way it could move across the sky like that. It would be like a floating land bridge or a teleportation land bridge. He's been talking about it for decades. The Bigfoot sightings are in Canada. Isn't this where the my one laptop is the battery's getting low. Isn't this where is this kind of where near Mount Shasta is and it goes up into Canada? Mount Shasta? Let me see this. Oh, Mount Shasta. Okay, it's only in California. Oh, that's about volcano. Is that where the who are they? They're beings. I don't like to say alien beings. They are other life forms that live on Mount Shasta. Okay, Al, honey, you go check your bread. You need KNEA. You go check it before it gets too bad. Yeah, from Scotivia. The Bionic Man versus Bigfoot are very believable. Yeah, if Bigfoot, well, there's a story about Bigfoot. We have some very knowledgeable people on here concerning Bigfoot. They got a lot of information. They've studied and studied and studied Bigfoot for years. Bigfoot was a species that was made, was it by the arachnids or whatever they were? Arachnids. Arachnids created Bigfoot, or Bigfoot got drove underground to become a slave to them, to the aliens. You think he did? The alien Greys created Bigfoot. Aliens created Bigfoot and drove them underground. Or the reptilians. And they had to come out during the daytime or nighttime. I don't know. I can't remember what I heard about that. They can shapeshift and go through portals. You caught it on the dot zoom. The shape shifting concept is just insane. Well, it does happen. It does. If you think of the upright serpent in the Garden of Eden, who is said to Eve was just ate an apple, but the serpent was able to speak with Eve. And the other thing is Eve had you know what with the serpent. And if it was an upright serpent, then it was a walking, talking reptilian being that had the ability to shapeshift. You're following Alex Collier. I haven't never heard anything really bad about him at all. I haven't. Yeah. I wanted to find it. Oh my goodness gracious. No, there's something that Canada has UFO activity going on in Canada. Mm. You never seen so much at once seasons? The Shasta connections and the UFO subjects are basically using an entire mountain as their base in Alaska. And Mount Hayes, I believe it is, but you will have to double check Mount Hayes and Mount Shasta. Let me look at this. Mount Shasta. Let's go to the FAA. Let's come over here and let's go to Alaska. Let's see. There's only a Mount Hayes. No, let me just come over here. Let me click something over here. I don't really know where it would be located, the mountainous regions of Canada, but I'm sure that's not the place. It's got to go up here in the mountains of Coldfoot. Okay, we're getting close to the mountain sites, but this probably isn't it. They don't have nothing there. A lot of this stuff is hidden. If Mount Shasta, isn't that where they're really smooth UFOs? They just they look really, really pretty on Mount Shasta. And they call them, they just said they're just clouds. They do have a live webcam for that. Let's look at some of the images. It's really beautiful. See, look at them. They're up there on top. Look how it just towers over the earth. Absolutely towers. And look at it right there in California. And inside there is where the other life form, human, look at that, you all. How can that be not real? How can that just be clouds? I don't believe it's just clouds. I really don't. It's higher realm frequencies. They can travel like that, right? They can. They can do it. Mount Shasta. The Bennington Triangle. Somebody got married on Mount Shasta. Wow. It's supposed to be really peaceful up there, right? If you were to go to Mount Shasta in California. Well, I don't want to go to the Arctic Village, but I guess I'll go to the Arctic Village and see what they got going on there. You probably don't got nothing much. You can look in here really fast. There's you would have to go. Could you imagine if you went through all of these FAA cameras all day long? I'm sure you're bound to find something. But these right here have a lot of just normal clouds. You'd have to get to you have to get to a place that has paranormal activity in order to see it. Well, that doesn't look pleasant at all. I'm going to get over here. Can't we go over here? Let's go to the radar. That is a filthy camera, you all. You don't want to look at a dirty camera with stuff all over it. Sometimes I believe they make the stuff on the camera look really bad because they don't want people looking at it. Yeah. I won't be looking at too much of this. I just want to know what's going on with Mary's Harbor.